Okay, can you see my slide, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, so today we will do one more issues relating to this topic, okay, regarding further processing decisions. All right, let's say we have a bakery whereby we produce and sell cakes. Okay, so to produce and sell cakes, you mix all these ingredients and then you sell, let's say, a simple cakes. Okay, let's say this is your cakes. Now you plan to further process your cake into two other product, maybe birthday cake and also trifle. Okay, so this decision is actually known as issues relating to further processing decisions. So you have two choice. Either you want to sell your product now, that means at split of point, or you further process and sell it later. Okay. So all costs incurred at this stage is known as joint costs. So joint cost is actually irrelevant to your decision whether you want to further process your product or not. Okay, let's say you produce not only one product, maybe currently you produce two products. Okay, you produce two products. You process this material and then you go through same process, same procedure. And then at this point, okay, two product emerge. For example, cake and also cupcake. So all costs incurred at this point is actually irrelevant to your decision whether to further process or not. And this joint cost, you will allocate to this product based on several method. Okay, based on several method. So split of point is actually the point at which product are identifiable as separate product. So to produce cake and cupcake, you go through same process. So these joint products, okay, is actually refers to product that we manufactured from the same input and in a same production process. Okay, now we want to decide. Starting from here, should we sell our product here or we further process and we sell it later? So all costs incurred here is your relevant cost. Okay, relevant cost. And then joint cost is irrelevant because it will not change according to your decision whether to further process or not. If you sell it here, you incurred this amount. If you further process also, you cannot alter this total cost. Therefore, it is irrelevant to our decisions to be made in the future. Decision about what? Decision about whether we want to further process the product or not. Okay, let's say you plan to sell birthday cake and also trifle. So further processing decision refers to a decision whether to sell a joint product at split of point or to process it further and sell it in a more refined forms. Okay, to illustrate these issues, we will use question on Mawarwangi Berhad. Okay, now how to allocate your joint costs. Remember just now I mentioned joint costs you can allocate to your product based on several methods. You can use sales value method, physical units or weighted average methods. Okay, then later you find out how to apply this method because this one is actually lesson that you learn during your lower code. During your lower code, you can read from textbooks actually. You can read from your textbooks. page 929 until 931. Okay, so when you further process, when you make decision relating to further process, you have three different methods. Either you use incremental approach, opportunity cost approach, or total project approach. If you use the first approach, okay, you compare the difference between additional revenue with additional costs of further processing. If the difference is positive, then you can proceed with your decision to further process the product. Second method, you use opportunity cost approach. That means you calculate net revenue from further process and the opportunity cost of not selling the product at split of point. Remember, if you sell your product at split of point, you can generate contribution margin. If you further process, that means you will not earn your contribution margin. You must let go. That one is your opportunity cost. So if the difference between revenue from further process is more than opportunity cost, then you should further process your product. Okay. The third approach, you can use comparative income statement. That means you compare profit statements of both options. First, you prepare a profit statement if you sell your product at split of point. And then you further process. Okay, you calculate again, you prepare again your income statement after further process. Then you compare your net profit. Which one is higher? That one will be your decision. Okay, now look at Mawarwangi. Mawarwangi Snebrat manufactures and sells standard perfume by blending aromatic oil and dilute non-alcoholic scents. Presently, the company is manufacturing a standard perfume MW2 for Muslim customers. Selling price of MW2 is RM160 per 100 ml. Okay, that means 1 ml, RM1.60. Okay, normally we sell in bottle. Okay, one bottle maybe 50 ml, 100 ml. So for this company, they sell MW2, okay, in one bottle, 100 ml per bottle. So how much selling price? RM160. Okay, the company is considering processing some of the perfume further by adding concentrate floral scents such as rose and lavenders. Research has been done and it costs 15,000. You conduct research, it costs you 15,000. Whether you further process your product or not later, you cannot alter this amount. Okay, this amount you cannot alter. Therefore, research cost is actually irrelevant. Alright, data has been prepared for the cost and revenue expected for the following months, assuming that a part of the company's output will be further processed. Okay, so your MW2, you plan to further process into MW rose and MW lavender. The output selected to further process is 500,000 ml. Okay, output here, you want to further process how many? 500,000 ml. That is 50% of the company's normal monthly standard perfume. How about the balance? The balance you sell as MW2 product at RM100 at RM160 per 100 ml. Only 50% you plan to further process. Okay. 400,000 ml of is made up of dilute non-alcoholic scent which costs RM52, 50 cent per 100 ml. Okay. The balance 100,000 ml is a blend aromatic oil costing RM150,000. So 500,000 ml, okay, plus 100,000 ml equivalent to 500,000 ml. Labor required to produce 500,000 ml of the standard perfume before further process is 10,000 hours at cost 18,000 ringgit per hour. Remember, so this product, okay, when you produce this product for 500 ml, you incurred all these costs. Okay, all these costs is actually for MW2, which include your dilute non-alcoholic scents, blend aromatic oil, and also labor costs. Okay, so from that information, from that paragraph, you can calculate total cost for MW2. Okay, total cost for MW2. That means your joint costs. Okay. Of the output for further process, 200 ml will be processed for the final product MW rose. 200 ml of concentrate rose essence cost 500 ringgit per ml will be added. The remaining 300,000 ml will be further processed for MW lavender, and 300 ml concentrate lavender essence cost 400 ringgit per ml will be added. So just now you have MW2, how many? 500,000 ml. Okay, you can calculate cost based on previous paragraph. Then you further process to MW rose and MW lavender. So MW rose, how many? 200,000 ml. You plus another rose essence 200 ml. So your output will be 200,200 ml. MW lavender, remember this one 500 minus 200,000, balance is 300,000 ml. But then lavender essence, you plus 300 ml. So output for lavender is actually 300,300 ml. Okay, this output you use to calculate your revenue later. Further processing will be supervised by one of the supervisors currently employed by the company. His current annual salary, okay, 30,000 annual salary, whether you further process or not. So this salary you cannot alter. Okay, it is maintained at 30,000, whether you proceed or not with your decision to further process. Therefore, supervisor salary is irrelevant. Okay. The following information is relevant for further process of standard perfume of MW2. Currently, the company has sufficient existing machinery. 3,300 extra labor hours will be required. 1,005 for MW Rose, 1,008 for MW Lavender. Labor is currently fully utilized. Okay, labor is fully utilized, producing the standard perfume MW2. New labor with required skill will not be available. Okay, will not be available at short notice. So hopefully you still remember. Okay, first lecture for topic 4, for this topic, I already explained conditions for labor, relevant cost for labor. Okay, when you are in full capacity, overtime is not allowed, and you cannot recruit new labor, so you must consider opportunity cost. If you proceed with other decision, your current situations, which you already generate income, then that means you need to let go that income. So when you let go that benefit means you must consider opportunity cost elements. Okay, because you have limiting factor in this case. You have limiting factor. So your limiting factor is, in this case, is actually in terms of labor. Okay, next, MW Rose and Lavender would be sold for 200 ringgit per 100 ml and 250 ringgit per ml respectively. This is what? This is your selling price for new product. Okay, MW Rose RM200, MW Lavender RM250 for for 100 ml. After having long discussion with the company's production manager, management is considering about buying or outsource standard product MW2 from other supplier. Okay, requirements, you have 4 requirements. All the theory part we discuss online. Now we will answer requirement 2 only. Evaluate whether management of Mawarwangi Sdn Bhd should further process MW2 into MW Rose and Lavender. Provide a separate assessment. Okay, and conclusions for the 2 final products. Alright, now take out a piece of paper. You draw this format. Okay, take out a piece of paper. You draw this format. You can prepare separately. That means if you prepare separately, this one for MW Rose, another one for MW Lavender. You prepare 2 different table. Also can, or you can just combine, okay, both product into one table. It's up to you. Okay, remember just now, MW Rose output is 200,000 200 ml, and then you sell RM200 per ml. Now we calculate sales revenue for MW Rose. 200,000 output 200 ml, you multiply by RM2 per ml. Okay, then you will get this figure. Alright, and then you calculate for lavender. Lavender 300,000 output 300,000 300 ml. You multiply by how much? RM2.50 per ml, or RM250 per 100 ml. Okay, if you decide to further process MW Rose and Lavender, you cannot sell your MW2 at split of point. So how much sales revenue for MW2 that you need to let go? Okay, MW2 just now you sell at RM160. Okay, RM160 per 100 ml. That means you further process. Remember the diagram just now? The diagram just now that I draw. This is your MW2, right? MW2, 200,000 ml for MW Rose, Lavender 300,000. So if you further process, you cannot sell your MW2 at current state. So you cannot generate revenue. So actually, how much revenue from MW2? Okay, we compare. So for Lavender, if you sell at current state, your sales revenue is actually 320,000. 200,000 ml for MW Rose. Okay, MW2 you sell at 160 per 100 ml. So total is actually 320. So how much incremental revenue you compare? You compare these two value. When we say compare means we minus. Okay, we minus. So the difference is 80,400 ringgit. If we produce MW Rose, if we sell as MW2, sales revenue is 320,000. If we further process, we can sell, okay, at higher value. So sales revenue for MW Rose 400,400 ringgit. That means we have incremental sales revenue of 80,400 ringgit. Now, can you please calculate incremental revenue for MW Lavender? Okay, calculate incremental revenue for MW Lavender. How much is incremental revenue for MW Lavender?
480,000.
400 is sales revenue for MW Rose. Incremental revenue is the difference between these two. Okay. 480,000 is actually sales revenue for MW2. Okay, so incremental revenue refers to this one. Okay, now we deduct all expenses. Okay, we have further processing costs for each product. Further processing costs, rose essence RM500 for 200 ml, lavender essence 400 ringgit for 300 ml. Okay, this one you can get from paragraph 5. Okay, paragraph 5. So total for rose essence 100,000, lavender essence 120,000 ringgit. Can you follow so far, class?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
All right. And then we have supervisor salary. Remember sunk cost. So you just put dash. Okay. And then labor cost. Remember labor we have shortage. So first we must calculate contribution margin. Okay. For labor, last paragraph they mentioned that we need extra 3,300 labor. 1,005 for MW Rose, 1,008 for MW Lavender. Okay, we multiply by opportunity cost. So opportunity cost in this case means benefit that we forgone. Okay, we need to let go benefit if we cannot sell MW2. So you calculate contribution margin for MW2. All right, sales revenue for MW2 for 500,000 ml equivalent to 800,000 ringgit. And then dilute non-alcoholic scents. Your aromatic oil just now. And also your labor costs. Okay, total is 540,000. So the difference between these two is actually your contribution margin. How much is your contribution margin? How much is your contribution margin?
260,000, madam.
260,000. Okay, 260,000. So this 260,000, now your limiting factor in terms of labor. You have 10,000 hours labor, right? Labor hours, you have 10,000 hours only. So you calculate contribution margin per labor hours. Contribution margin per limiting factor. So in this case, your limiting factor refers to labor hours. Okay. So your contribution margin per limiting factor is 20 ringgit per labor hours. Okay, remember for MW Rose and MW Lavender, labor hours is actually 1,500 and 1,800 for lavender. Multiply by 26 ringgit. Then you transfer into your table. Okay. This one, you transfer into your table. This one is actually for MW2. Because if you further process, you cannot sell your MW2. So you let go 260,000 contribution margin from MW2. Okay, then we proceed. Market research, sunk cost, so no value. Fixed cost also irrelevant. All right. Finally, calculate your net benefit or net loss. Incremental revenue minus all costs. Incremental revenue, you minus all relevant costs. Okay. Can you please calculate this one? Okay. Whether you have profit or loss. Alright, so MW Rose, net loss of 58,600. MW Lavender, 103,950. That means it is worth to proceed with MW Lavender because it can generate more profit. But MW Rose, we should not proceed. We should sell the product at as MW2 because if you further process, you will suffer net loss of 58,600 ringgit. Okay, you give your decision and also your reason. Okay, give your decision and your reason. Any questions so far?
No, Major.